So Fatman.
So Sleazy.
Last time ever. Cena Orton.
And of course, like every other Cena Orton match, they got to overbook the fucking shit out of it.
Let's talk about that on the wrestling show. Welcome everyone. This is Sleazy.
This is the Fat Man, and you don't want to go on the track with a freight train coming through.
Welcome everyone to another one. Today we have the only gold medalist on the podcast, Mr. Heavy Julius Beefcake the Third Esquire.
How are we doing?
We're just gonna keep adding stuff on.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna have
Julie's Beefcake the Third Esquire.
I'm gonna have
Incorporated.
I'm gonna have a 5-minute intro here pretty soon. I like it.
I mean, you are the only Special Olympic gold medalist on the show. Yes.
Wow. There, we've now added Esquire.
Esquire.
If you get that reference, Roman J. Israel Esquire, okay, then.
What are we doing here, guys? So no Ryan tonight. He's off.
Somebody's got to be a Ryan tonight, so I guess I'll be it.
Okay, so you're
Sorry, I'm going to be an asshole, eh? Sorry.
Hey.
Sorry.
American Ryan.
I'm American Ryan, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, American Ryan was with us. So today we're going to talk WWE Backlash. I'm actually really interested about two things. Number one, when I brought this up Monday morning, because that's when I chose to watch this instead of live, I noticed it was only 2.5 hours long.
Yes. And so me, because I did not watch this live also, I watched it Sunday morning, Mother's Day morning. Happy belated Mother's Day to the multitude of mother out there. That I did notice it was 2.5 hours. So I'm like, oh, sweet. The Fat Man played the game of bell to bell. How long did it take him?
Ooh, that's a good one. Hour and a half?
Yes.
Wow, really?
An hour and a half.
Jesus.
Give or take a few minutes. But yes, I started it at 7:30. I was done by 9.
Very nice. So the reason why I brought it up was, how do you two feel about a 2.5 hour show?
Love it.
Oh, it's great because I mean, it seems like you get a lot of bang for that little time period instead of it just dragging out for.
Hi, Tony Khan.
But no, I thought 2.5 hours. It's great for a pay-per-view. I mean, it just clean cut, concise, boom, done, out of there.
I read a review of this online. I don't remember what match it was. Oh, it was the Lyra Valkyrie Becky Lynch match. We'll talk about it. It went almost 19 minutes, and somebody was all like, "Do we really need to have that at 19 minutes, Bob?" And I said, I commented on it. I go, "You're the same page that praises AEW for having 47 20-minute matches on their shows. Mm-hmm. And you're bitching, complaining about a 19-minute match, a 2.5 hour show that the shortest match was 9 minutes and 20 seconds. The longest match was 27 minutes and 50 seconds. On a 5 matches out of 2.5 hour show, you're bitching about one match going 19 minutes.
And
You should be expecting, and that's what I like. You got 5 matches, 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours. I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with that.
One of the, not to bring up indie wrestling, and because of course we're talking WWE here, but one of the things that Brutal Bob Evans usually preaches about is that your indie show should be a tight 2.5 hours and no intermission. And this brings up the reason why. You know what I mean? You have 5, 6, 7 matches. They're not overstaying their welcome. It's a good quality show. I know the other side of this is that it's a pay-per-view. You know, people spent how much money to sit in those seats?
Okay, I was going to bring that up. So, I was going to say, technically, not a pay-per-view, premium live event, but
yeah,
the price point. WWE, I think it was today or yesterday, came out. Nick Khan, I keep saying Tony Khan, Nick Khan, or was it Menu or the TK? Somebody from TK, or maybe it was Nick Khan, justified the ticket prices, going, people are buying them.
But the thing is, people aren't okay. I love sports, so let's bring sports into this too, because I think this is funny. One of the things that I saw recently online was people were talking about the lack of crowd engagement that you're seeing, and it was apparent in this show. It wasn't terrible, but it was definitely not as loud, as raucous as it could be. And somebody drew the parallel between WWE and raising their costs with the NBA and them raising their ticket prices, and noticing that there's a lot less heavier crowd interaction in NBA games than there used to be 10, 15 years ago. As the non-sports person that's never seen...
So, I know where you're going. You're pricing out the diehards.
Yes. You're absolutely pricing out the diehards. Mm-hmm. What do you guys feel about that? Is that what's happening here?
So, yeah, they are pricing out the diehards. I'm going to set this down for a minute here. But, so they are pricing out the diehards because you bring this up multiple times on the show. You live an hour away from Philadelphia. Where was WrestleMania last year?
Mm-hmm. We looked at the building and left.
Yeah.
We looked at the building and left.
Yeah. We went to Stand and Deliver, which was next door to WrestleMania. And we didn't go to WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. And could we have gone? Probably. Could we sit in the cold in the bleacher seats? Probably could have found cheap tickets. Yes. Day of. I think it was like the cheapest ticket was like $100, but $100 per ticket to sit in the last row in the nosebleeds. When Sleazy and I go, inflation, I understand. What was it? 11 years before, we paid 50 something bucks for a little bit better seats. So, and then we paid more so in New Orleans. So the art price on the diehards, and I was going to bring this up. You live in Atlantic City. Mm-hmm. SummerSlam is in MetLife.
Yeah.
I looked up tickets. They're more expensive than WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. Never mind the whole Kevin Nash experience for $40K.
Yeah. So, and the fact is it's your wife's birthday weekend, but that's moot to the point. The point being is, I was going to message you, like, hey, you want me to come down there SummerSlam weekend? Now I'm all like, I'm going to come down there Supercard of Honor weekend? Slammiversary weekend? Like it would be cool to go down there for some meet and greets and stuff, but other than that, we may not even go to SummerSlam this year because can we afford it? Yeah. Do we want to pay those ticket prices? No.
And we've been doing this show for 12 plus years, and we're not even going to the events that are near us.
Yeah.
And I'm not as well off as those two up there, but
I'm not well off.
It's like, well, I saw it today. Like, people are They're saying their yearly vacation now is going to a basketball game or going to a baseball game because the prices are that high. And it's the same way it's going with wrestling. With the different, I mean, like they said, hey, if they're paying it, why not?
So not
But
to keep talking sports here. I'm one of those rare Duke football fans, and Duke's coming to Syracuse. So I had a little bit of downtime at work. I looked up tickets for that. The cheapest ticket, Duke Syracuse football.
Not basketball. Football.
$97 before tax and fees.
Yikes.
For the cheapest ticket for Duke, probably a non-ranked game in the last weekend of September, week 4. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I paid more for a Syracuse Notre Dame basketball game.
But Syracuse is good in basketball, and they're known in basketball.
Well, not necessarily. There's also some factors we're not thinking about. Is they just renovated the stadium, so he's just giving me. It doesn't matter. They got to They got to justify the ticket. They got to justify the renovations.
That's ridiculous.
But and my dumbass is like, Duke comes there once every 3 years, 4 years. Now that the whole world, do I go? Probably. And the Bucks are coming to Buffalo. The schedule release comes out tomorrow. Luckily, thank God, thanks to my buddy Jay, he has season tickets. He's hooking me up, but I would not want to know how much those tickets are. It's the last year of the Bill Stadium, of the old stadium. Those tickets are going to go through the fucking roof.
Yeah, and it's just craziness. It's just absolutely craziness because you said it yourself, WG, is that people are using their vacation funds to go to a game, not the Super Bowl, not the World Series, a game.
Right, a game. And it's like for me to spend, like I live 2 hours north of Philly. For me to go drive 2 hours and 15 minutes down there, pay to park, pay $75 a ticket to get in, all the food there for a 2.5 hour game, drive back another 2 hours, spend the money for gas, when I can just sit at home and watch it on TV and not have to deal with all that hassle and save myself $500-$600.
And probably see better.
And then they have, if you have the disposable income to do that, hey, by all means, go for it. But man, I can think of a lot more money I would spend on $2,000 for wrestling tickets.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
and say if you're going with a group and wants to go, someone's going to have to pay that up front and then hope you get paid back. So
I'm not going to say a word on that one.
I kind of brought that up for a reason. But yeah, I know we kind of a tangent here. 18 minutes into the show, a tangent. We haven't even started talking about Backlash, but plus also at the same time, the last 2 Backlashes, where were they? France and Puerto Rico.
Right.
International Puerto Rico, huh? But hot crowds that don't normally get WWE.
Mm-hmm.
St. Louis gets what, 2-3 times a year? They're not going to be as pumped as. Yes, I know it's John Cena's last time in St. Louis.
Well, it's Orton.
But Orton in St. Louis.
It's Orton too, but they were hot for that match. And quite frankly, I don't think the crowd was that bad.
No,
I'm not saying they were, but there was definitely a muted. It wasn't like, oh my God, they're just
take a look at this. Okay, Royal Rumble Stadium, Elimination Chamber Stadium, WrestleMania Stadium, Backlash Arena. So this is their first PLE of the year in an arena, not a stadium. So that has something we're used to it. So
I mean,
you're going to have stadium shows, and now it's going to sound a little bit more.
You're going to get a third less. You're going to get like a third, maybe even a quarter less people
But you can also justify this by saying that in a bigger, the noise goes up and then comes back down. In an arena, it's on top of you.
Right.
So they should be louder in the arena to play devil's advocate to get that side.
Yeah, it's kind of there's so many different facets to this that we could spend the entire show talking about it. But I just wanted to bring it up a little bit because I feel like that this was a very good example of that point in particular. As you can see, Dietz is not here as well. I do have Dietz's notes. So you're going to see me like looking down a lot because I have a tablet for my notes, and then Dietz's notes are going to be right in front of me. So
are we waiting for the end to talk about
news and rumors? Yeah. We'll
right.
do it
Oh
all.
my goodness.
Yeah,
yes.
we'll talk about that.
Oh, that will definitely happen.
I mean, there's 5 matches, 3 of us. We should be able to blow through this review.
Say that.
Show opens with Yo Dog. I heard you like multi-man matches.
I do.
Fatal 4-way for the United States Championship. Jacob Fatu defends against L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Versus Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. 17 minutes and 53 seconds. John Cann gave this the Dietz.
Wow, 3 3/4. Speaking of Dietz, I'll start with him because he gave it 4 stars. U.S. title match. What a fucking banger to start out with. Big props to Triple H to have Knight look like a fucking star when he's surrounded by beasts in Priest, Drew, and Jacob. Even with Knight taking the pin, LA Knight affirmative. Well done, Dietz.
Affirmative.
Went through hell and then some to get his title back. Cobb was a fun little hiccup. Crazy to see him pair up after banger matches in the Indies. Banger to start.
Copy notes. I mean, great opener. Jeff Cobb debuting. Everyone knows how much of a Jeff Cobb mark I am. He should have won G1 a couple years ago.
Right.
100%. It's not even close. Great storytelling with Fatu and Solo. I think it's going to be a way to turn Jacob face with Cobb coming into the mix. Because he's going to cheer no matter what anyway. You might as well turn him.
Yeah.
Every man got time to shine, especially LA Knight. Same rating too, 4 stars. Basically, it's almost copy and paste. Yeah.
My big piece was the whole Jacob Fatu setup into the finisher parade that happened. That entire 2-minute spot was great.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it 3.5 stars. Jeff Cobb fuckers is here. Did he actually do much of anything?
Not really.
No. But
he's
here.
Jeff Cobb.
He's Jeff Cobb.
Jeff Cobb.
I'm very excited to see what they do with the whole storyline. It's the next generation of the bloodline, I guess, to go. So let's see
it's a Samoan that's not part of the Samoan dynasty.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Technically, part Filipino.
Yeah,
from Guam.
I mean, all we need is Tongue and Jim, and we're good.
Yep.
Heavy G.
I gave it 4 stars as well. I thought the whole finish spot, and I think that's ingenious, that finish spot with the Claymore on the Priest, and the Priest and then ends up getting a lucky cover, which is pretty cool. Jacob Fatu, my gosh, can you just say, you can't put enough superlatives in what he did. I'm homage to Umaga from doing that corner thing. He does the inside out like Rikishi.
Mm-hmm.
If I really wanted to nitpick, that backbreaker spot in the beginning kind of stunk. Kind of mistimed a little bit. But other than that, like you said, that flurry there, that 2-minute flurry, Jeff Cobb coming in was a great surprise. It wasn't a surprise, but it adds another layer, if possible, to this bloodline storyline. Like you all said, I thought it was really good. 4 stars.
Yeah, so going back to the storytelling where Jacob Fatu couldn't get out of the blocks in the beginning, which brought down Solo, which has a backup plan in Jeff Cobb.
Mm-hmm.
So so that was the storytelling part I was getting at too. So
the fact that Fatu sold it well, like the confused look on Fatu's face with that. Yeah,
He's
he
like,
won.
do you know who I am, motherfucker?
And
Why are you down here? 2,
Mhm.
why is he here?
right.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, that's just like I said, like you said, Batman, prime way to get him fixed. They were cheering, like you said, they were cheering him all night long.
mhm. Yeah. Women's Intercontinental Championship, Lyra Valkyrie defends against Becky Lynch, 18 minutes, 45 seconds. Ken gave this 4 stars. Sleazy, you're the women's wrestling enthusiast.
Oh boy, here we go. I was not kind. I noticed this in the first match too, but there were much more. I don't know if this was just something recent that's starting to happen more, but more and more people are starting to kick out at one.
They're AEWing.
No, earlier on in the match, like normally.
Okay,
like
gotcha.
How it would really happen.
Pin. Yeah.
Like the first couple of pins, they're kicking out at one, or sometimes even less than that. And I find that absolutely refreshing. Not every pin needs to be 2 9/10.
Right.
But it was very apparent in both matches. The shine on Lyra was really good. I really enjoyed the shine. The Faymaster moonsault spot, I think the commentators did a good job.
Yep.
Kind of tying that,
Yep.
even though it was a little bit of fuck your finish multiple times in the match.
Yes.
Yep.
God damn it. Fuck you guys. Especially after the mix turnbuckle shot, that was kind of weird. And the actual finish was kind of weird. It almost felt like she poked her in the eye accidentally.
Mhm.
And then roll up, that's it. And then immediate post-match beatdown. It was kind of odd. I gave it an okay match for a house show, 2.5 stars.
So I was a little bit more kind. 3.5. I thought it was really good, but I didn't think it reached that next level. And again, I also thought the ending was weird. I literally put the ending was a little weird. Right kid died. I think Lyra needed the clean win.
Mhm.
So the post-match beatdown made sense right afterwards, which you don't normally see often either, where normally they get the pin, they celebrate, and then they get beat down. Nope. He got flash pinned. What does Sleazy talk about? Doesn't like roll up of death, so he gets a roll up of death in this one.
Right.
Nobody's listening to our show just to piss Sleazy off. And but as soon as that happened, Becky beat the fuck out of her.
Mhm.
So I did like that aspect of it. Again, I thought it was really good. Lyra, I think, was a little nervous in there.
Yeah, it's her first big match on a pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view. Yep.
Premium live event.
Against her
mentor.
Oh, there's my asshole cat.
Did they so I know they drew that correlation between the two of them, but did Becky actually work with her beforehand, or is that just they're from Dublin, so of course they work together?
No, I think they brought that up where they worked together when I guess they wrestled each other in NXT.
Yeah, Lyra beat Becky for the NXT title.
Yeah, title. And then
that's
there
right.
was more of background that she looked up to Becky, and they played that up quite a bit during the match.
They did. So I mean, again, another really good match is this one just didn't go into the next gear. It was like stuck in third, still steady, but it just didn't crank up. Didn't shift it in.
Wow.
Heavy G.
I gave it 5.
5 stars?
What? Holy shit.
Okay, hold on. Since I'm American Ryan, even though he probably would have rated 5 stars, he doesn't rate 5. But overrated fucking piece of shit. I hope he stepped on a fucking Lego. Since I'm the Hall of Famer fan man, I hope you get Down syndrome. There.
Wow.
Jesus.
Right, I have.
Oh God damn it!
Well, that's not that. That's something else. Anyway, I thought Lyra looked amazing. Becky played the role of the heel perfectly.
I agree with the latter. I don't agree with the former. I think Lyra looked a little bit sloppy in there.
At first she did, but then to me, I thought she came out really good. And the one part that I liked was the referee spot where took the chair. Becky took out the turnbuckle pad. She realized that the turnbuckle pad was gone. She went to put it on, and she was legit pissed that she got caught in between and went like this, and then went to go for that false finish. Yeah, maybe I is a little high with the fuck your finishes is what 3 manhandle slams, but I think Lyra's technical wrestling, the way she reversed that one Bexploder, I thought was really really good. I really enjoyed the match. So
You weren't the only one. Dietz gave it 4 stars. Didn't expect the women to get this much time. Fucking A1 banger, shows how good Lynch is as a heel. Happy they kept the title on Lyra, but 100% that woman broke her nose something fierce.
yeah, I think maybe that's why the finish was kind of
that could be it,
because
it's possible.
Because I mean that was a shot, and she was continuously holding it. In fact, when she was in the disarmer, she was still really clutching her nose. But that's another part that I missed on my thing. They got what 18 minutes, 50 seconds,
18:45. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, my gosh! I mean, finally they got some time, and man, when you have 2 talents like that, you're gonna get gold. I mean,
And I think we vaguely mentioned this, but when you have a 5-match show, these matches are going to get time. Like they're just going to.
except for the next one.
Intercontinental Championship. Dominic Mysterio defends against Penta. 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Ken gave this 3 1/4. I'll go first. I gave it the Deets 3 3/4. They made the most of their time, and they had a great match. And there's nothing really more else to say about that. You know, El Grande Americano is just absolutely fantastic. He's the best lucha in the world right now. And I don't care if he cheats. I don't care. But, I mean, finish win to the storyline. It all worked. I just, again, with a 2.5 hour long show, they could have given these 5 more minutes. Like, just give me 5 more minutes of these two. Let's do Heavy G.
3 stars. I really didn't like the match. Really, I mean, I kind of figured El Grande Americano was going to come in, but man, you get Penta in there, and this is what now 2. I mean, if you could have got like a DQ victory or something there, but Dom keeping the title. I mean, you have to keep the title on Dom. I get it, but man,
So
the whole storyline thing with the Judgment Day getting kicked out was kind of cool, but.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
the way that Penta's losing doesn't hurt him.
I get that, but
Is that his first loss though?
No, he lost.
No, he lost that
Breaker.
He lost the Breaker.
And then he lost. Yeah, and then he lost that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, but he wasn't involved.
No, he wasn't involved. Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I mean, I love to see what they're gonna do with Penta. I can't wait to see. I mean, I expect Penta to be wearing gold sooner or later.
Oh, he will.
Tag
team gold.
Maybe
probably.
Tag team gold. Yeah. Maybe AAA. But yeah, I thought the match was good. Plus I wanted to see more. I wanted this to at least go 15, 18 minutes. 9 seems like we got cheated.
Yeah. Again, I mean, I'm happy they made most of the time they're given.
Well, yeah,
I think they could have used 5 more minutes, but at the same time, I thought they had a hell of a match. All right, yeah. Sleazy and Dietz.
Okay, I'll start with Dietz. Pretty much echoing a lot of the complaints here. I was expecting a 15-minute match, but got a solid match under 10. Penta continues to be nothing of a work rate monster. The DDT spot to the outside was fucking quality. Dom is 100% becoming a legit worker, and even though it was short, it generated a fun little run here. He gave this 3 1/3 stars. I'm not sure if that was a
I think it's supposed to be
typo for a quarter or
quarter
a half.
or a half.
So leave it at a third. I think
Three.
that's
Okay, I will put
3 and a third, just
three and a
cause.
third.
My notes start off with LOL. Dominic Mysterio, Akira inspired by his godfather, Psychosis. I know him, the Mexicools. From commentary.
Yeah.
Dom really moves really well in the early stages, just like his father, Eddie.
Yep.
The suicide DDT.
So I'm going to stop you there. I'm going to stop you right there.
Okay.
He looks just like Eddie Guerrero.
I think it's intentional. I think he's intentionally doing it.
But here's the thing: when after Eddie died, they released an autobiography on him where he did have an affair and he did have a kid. It would be around Dom's age.
Yikes.
So look at Ray and how small he is. His wife's not about the same height as him. You're telling me? I legitimately think. I'm not to the conspiracy theories here.
There's the conspiracy right there.
I legitimately think Eddie is Dom's dad. Legit. That he looks just fucking like him.
I mean, I'm not going to say nothing. The suicide DDT spot, he should absolutely keep and should make that permanently in his repertoire. That was absolutely wonderful. Penta looks to be fucking around with his right knee early on while Dom was showboating, like in spots where you wouldn't normally see him doing it. Also, he's fucking around with his right knee, not his left. So it's more like not a work. I'm not sure if that actually meant anything or not. I love the fact Liv's finisher looks awful no matter who does it. Destroyer on the apron like nothing. The tope over the ref was
because
amazing.
It was a Mexican destroyer,
Mexican
not a
destroyer.
Canadian destroyer or an American destroyer. That's why it was less quality.
Yeah, absolutely. Tope over the ref was great. The finish was fine based on everything. Storyline, good little match, 3.5 stars.
I mean, the Mexican destroyer to Carlito on the floor was I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we gonna fight, I think, on this one.
Volta! Defense versus Pat McAfee. 14 minutes. Kat gave this 3 stars. I'm going to go last because I feel like we're going to fight. Let's do it.
I'll go first. 2.5 stars. It was just, it was what it was. It was to get Pat McAfee some shine, show how tough he is. It was just basic to me. It was like a Ric Flair chop fest. I get it, but yeah. I mean, it was cool that he did at the end, giving McAfee his due, but to me, the time should have been reversed on this match. 2.5 wasn't really great on it.
Okay.
Dietz gave it 4 stars. Low-key
Overrated piece of shit. Hope you step on a Lego. Well, I can't say I'm not a Hall of Famer, so I can't say the other one. So.
No, you can't.
Wow. Low-key kind of dug this. I honestly thought they went on for 20 minutes, but felt like it dragged towards the end. Crowd pop for Cole, as did I. I'm a McAfee stan. You all know this. Gunther basically no-selling everything to make him look like a monster. Handshake means the end of the feud. Bring me Gunther versus Cena. 4 stars. Okay. I actually agree with Dietz in terms of the star rating. I also gave it 4 stars. My biggest complaint is one that I'm probably going to hold on till after Fatman's done. But for what this was an 18-minute squash match. There was no point in the entire match that Pat McAfee had any chance of winning. Gunther was absolutely playing with his food the entire time. There's never a point where he felt like he was ever in danger of losing, even when you did the whole kick spot, because McAfee kick, punt. Okay, got it. Ha. Football.
The fact that you had to think about that kind of worried me, but go ahead.
Football. But the reality was this was really well done for what it was. It was a squash match that made McAfee look pretty decent, despite the fact he had no chance in hell at beating Gunther. Gunther needed a huge win in the fact that he just lost the World Heavyweight Championship. And
it's a huge win.
It is.
McAfee. It's an announcer. It's not a big win.
But it is in the fact that he did what he was told everyone he was going to do. He's going to get in there, beat the shit out of you, and leave. And that's exactly what he did. You know, and that's kind of the point of the entire match. And the little tip at the end, don't forget that in this day and age, especially with Gunther has had a history of, yeah, I might be a dick, but this ring is sacred. If you step up to me, I'll give you the respect. And that's exactly what was shown at the end of this. And if you look at it from that perspective, storyline wise, it makes sense. That's why anytime Cole got onto him, it was not, Pat, you got to fight, you got to win. No, it's Gunther, fucking stop this and endless bullshit. It was perfectly well done in that respect from the commentator side as well. So how can you not love this? 4 stars.
Okay. So I will wholeheartedly disagree that this was a big win, because it was not a big win.
No.
It was exactly what it needed to be. I don't even have the problem with the time on it. 14 minutes? It didn't feel like 14 minutes to me. Dietz said it thought it went on forever. I thought this went only like 6 minutes. But when I saw it went 14, I was like, oh, well, okay. They really by the way, I gave it 3. I thought it was way better than it had any right to be. 100% playing around with this food. I don't think it was 4 stars. Again, it didn't. It was basically Gunther squashing him, McAfee getting a few lucky shots, and then Gunther just winning how he lost at WrestleMania. So, what's that? Pat didn't tap out. And that's another thing that I was kind of like, now you're making Pat McAfee look like a bigger badass than Gunther is. And I'm like, that's another issue I have with the match. Was this all like Gunther taps out to the same hold, but McAfee
passes out?
Well, I will say this, that once again, Gunther considers the ring sacred. So when Gunther taps out, he's saving himself from any further damage because he's got to work the next day.
Well, the whole feud is based on Cole saying
he tapped out.
So
the whole feud was based off of disrespect. The one thing that Gunther finds sacred is respect of the craft, respect of the ring.
Okay. I still don't like it. It's still, it still just was like, I don't know about that. I did not watch Raw last night. I had to be up. I'm surprised I'm still fucking up now. I had to be up at 2:00 in the morning. But,
well, since nobody said, I will bring up the other thing that I wanted to bring up.
What I was going to say is, never mind. I forgot. Keep going.
Here's my biggest question about all of this. Why was it on the show?
I know why. I can 100% tell you why.
Why?
Who has a very successful talk show on ESPN?
Yeah.
That's why.
No. Why wasn't this the main event, a Saturday night main event, or the opener? Because I dare say he would have brought more viewers to that.
It's on the same network.
Yeah.
Not only the same network, but also NBC.
Okay. And here's another thing that I know I can tell you right now why it wasn't on Saturday night's main event on NBC. Who owns ESPN?
Disney.
And who owns, and what channels does Disney own? ABC.
Yeah.
That wasn't going to be on NBC.
No.
Never.
Oh, absolutely. It could have been.
Nope.
It could have easily been.
No.
Absolutely. 100% yes, it could have.
So
because otherwise he wouldn't be on Peacock. That doesn't make any sense.
So I was just going to say, It kind of does.
No, it doesn't. It makes zero sense.
It
You would
makes
have more eyes on the
100% sense.
product. You'd have more people.
I'm agreeing with you on there. I'm giving you the reasons why it wasn't on there. So
I mean,
and there was no way that was gonna be the main event of Saturday Night Satan.
Opener,
sure, but
yeah.
I'm giving you the reasons why.
But I mean, it could have been. The thing is, especially if you weren't going to pay it off with Goldberg showing up or just the next stage in the feud, so to speak. Like if you were going to have, Pat get fucking killed and then have, Goldberg come back to avenge him or some bullshit, which was the suggestion that was been thrown out there. Like, absolutely, you would do that on Saturday Night Main Event as the main event. The main event being Goldberg comes back, not the main event being Gunther versus Pat McAfee.
I think the main event they've already announced is Jey Uso versus Logan Paul.
Probably. Oh, there's another. That's another spot where you need a bunch of eyes on the product. Put Logan Paul there.
Yeah,
there you go. So it's the same concept. I'm just saying that I'm surprised that they didn't. I'm surprised that the Logan Paul Jey Uso thing didn't happen here, and Gunther Pat McAfee didn't happen there.
Okay. WWE Championship. John Cena defends against Randy Orton. 27 minutes and 50 seconds. Ken gave this 3 1/4. Let's do the Dietz. Let's do the E's. Dietz and Sleazy.
Okay, Orton's entrance was fucking awesome. Once again, Backlash delivers an all-timer entrance 3 years in a row. Bad Bunny, Backlash, AJ Styles, France, and now Randy Orton, St. Louis. After that, fuck yo, finish, Batman! I thought I was watching a Young Bucks match. AA after AA, RKO after RKO, multiple ref bumps for the match to finish with the old dick punch and belt shot. I didn't even read this beforehand before we went on here. Love the R-Truth run in and also getting demolished at the presser by Cena. I didn't watch that, by the way. I
watched video of it. Yeah.
Overall, heel Cena works, but fuck, man, I need to see what happens next. Punk Gunther would be fun too. Match itself's 3.5, but that makes the Cena run still very interesting with a performance of spamming finishers. For me, basic Control C, Control V, even with the rating. Fuck your finish. Fuck your finish. Fuck your finish. Another red bump. Why? Fuck your finish. I assume they were going to do another table spot since they announced the tables exploded when John touched it. So they basically redo the spot, which was kind of strange. LOL to Randy for rehydrating, and then basically, apparently after the fact, it came out that it's like, it tastes like shit, which was funny.
Well, actually, I tried that new Prime. I like it.
Yeah, it's that like sour and sweet.
It's basically tastes like a Sour Patch Kid.
So if you don't like that, especially if you're drinking it in the middle of a match, I could understand the revolting moment of it, but whatever.
And there's like no sugar in it either. So
God, yeah, hard pass for me. 3.5 for me. To you guys.
I'll go last. Heavy G, go ahead.
3.5. Like you said, copy C, control. Control C, Control V. Just he's getting, to me, I think Cena's getting better and better as a heel. Like now, to me, he's believable. He wasn't believable to me in the beginning, but now, I mean, it just still seems forced. But I think, and by the way, I think I'm like, oh, sure, Travis Scott's going to show up. Travis Scott's going to show up. But all of a sudden, the black guy is like, the hell, R-Truth, really?
It makes sense.
Oh yeah, it did make sense. I'm like, why would R-Truth? And then it's
because they've been building it up for the last month. Actually, since Elimination Chamber, they've been building it up.
So yeah, I mean, like you said, typical. Like you said, fuck your finish, crotch shot, belt shot, game over.
Kick ski to the dick ski.
So.
No, is that the uppercut one?
Yes, I'm the underrating piece of shit.
Yep.
This was an overbooked mess, but it wasn't bad? ? I think? ? I don't know.
It's a hard match to ring. I will agree with that.
It was basically, we're going to go through the motions for the first 10 minutes and then spam finishers, ref bump, spam finishers, like everyone else said. Like, I'm just like, I don't know what to make of this. Like, I guess this is what, just like how Reigns won every match during his title reign. I guess Cena turned into Nakamura from 2018, but actually wins matches with it. So, I sure, Mr. Dick Punch.
Yep.
Dick Punch 2000.
Dick Punch 2011, because we already had Mr. Dick Punch 2000.
Is it me, or did this match just seem like every other Cena Orton match?
Yes, overbooked piece mess.
I mean,
It's
the RK, the AA into the RKO, and then this, and then
but the thing,
like,
the thing is, this is a nostalgia tour.
Yeah.
This entire tour is a nostalgia tour. How are you not playing the hits?
True.
Yeah. I mean, Cena Orton was happening. It didn't matter if they're going to strap the fucking title on him or not, because that was the thing. It was just a question of whether or not you're going to leave Orton as a heel and then leave Cena as a face, or have this weird juxtaposition of situation that you have here now. It's interesting. I obviously this is the first time we're seeing Cena as a heel, so it's an interesting way to deal with it, but whatever. It's still the hits.
Yeah. I don't, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I was looking up something and the fucking stupid video popped up, but it was what it was. I mean, I thought it was the worst match of the night. But again, it was the Mike Sanders, so it was above average. Overall thoughts, there was nothing bad on the show at all. It was a very solid PLE that, was kind of like a step down from what WWE's put on, but at the same time, being 7 out of 10 is a step down. I don't know what to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the first pay-per-view right after. This is the first one after WrestleMania, right?
Yeah, and Backlash the last couple of years have been bangers. So
but the reason why they've been bangers have been independent. Yeah,
the crowd.
Yeah, it's been independent from what the actual cards have been. This card had to shine because of the card.
Right.
And they didn't do a bad job. Dietz gave it 8 out of 10. Dietz's final thoughts was Backlash was a banger again. It's normally been my favorite pay-per-view in the last few years, and this didn't disappoint. We got John Cena work rate at plus whatever age he is, but to hear that crowd go white hot for Randy, man, Jesus. He want to see what plays out with Priest and Drew. Wouldn't shock me to see the Lucha Brothers form up to fight Judgment Day. I gave it 7 out of 10 as well. I thought it was, overall it was a great tight card.
Yeah.
So.
Again, I these WWE PLEs are way easier to get through than AEW ones, and I'll admit to say that I actually haven't watched AEW in the last couple of months, so I don't know what's going on. I know they had Double or Nothing in a couple of weeks here.
Maybe we'll be covering it.
Yeah, we'll be covering it. They just feel like chores to me to get through those shows sometimes, but I think the last one was actually an excellent AEW paper. So,
yep. But this one, I gave it 7 out of 10 as well. Plus that little, like you said, nuance with Drew and Damian. How again Damian screws him out of a title this time by pulling the ref out. I mean, just like those tiny little things that you can just pick up. That as wrestling, I don't say marks, but as wrestling fans, that you can see that. Marks. Oh wow, that's I can see that going down in the future stuff, but that's south of heaven outside the ring. Whoa,
it's safe, but it's good.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's get into news and rumors, and I know we got to talk about the passing of Sabu. So Sleazy, the resident ECW mark.
Do you want to start with that?
Yep,
Okay.
let's start with it.
So, as most people are probably aware by now, Sabu died age of 60, which for a lot of people, that's old in wrestling age, I guess. I know, obviously, any age is too young to die at, but he just had his last match a month ago. There have been suggestions that, how should I put this? There was a particular spot that happened at the match that was kind of gnarly, that people are pointing to that were like, yeah, that's the reason why I died. I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that either.
Yeah, it's whatever. If he died a few days later, that would be a whole nother thing. A month, the reality is that you get to that age, you can't do the drugs that you used to be able to do. And unfortunately, that causes a lot of problems health wise. And it's unfortunate to see him pass on. I will say that last year we saw him and he looked pretty rough.
Yeah, he had a very, very, very hard time moving around.
What's to tell you that I barely wanted to talk to him because I knew it was just, he had a lot to get through that weekend, and he didn't even have anything booked.
No.
He wasn't booked for any matches. He was just doing, he fucking no sold his own fucking Hall of Fame. Because he was supposed to be inducted to the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame, and he didn't show up.
Nope.
And I think part of the reason why was because he couldn't handle getting over there. But yeah, I wish Ryan was on the show to kind of talk about his experiences. Obviously, Ryan booked him for shows up in Newfoundland. He's a huge fan of Sabu as well. Obviously, everybody who ever talked to him knew him, speaks his praises, so he will definitely be missed.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yep.
I heard, I think I read a story or something that he basically could not move. He couldn't walk. He couldn't do anything. And then he was given the kratom.
Yeah, that was
something like that. And then all of a sudden he was able to get up and do the matches and everything else. But it's like,
yeah, so that came directly from Joni Janela, of all people.
And Brett is fucking pissed.
I'm sure. Because it makes GCW look like a fucking carny progression. And I understand why. Well, he booked fucking Sandman too.
And they're in Rochester this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're they're back in Atlantic City for Cage of Survival and Tournament of Survival in June 1st and 2nd, I think it is. But yeah, the upshot of it is that if that's true, I hope the other side of it was not true, which was that they pushed him to do it. Sabu makes his own choices in his life, as does everybody else. But at the end of the day, it's just, I don't know what to say to that, other than the fact that the way Joey Janela states the story, he makes it sound like, it's amazing that's what he went through. That's not a hero story, the way he tells it.
No,
it's the story of a sad, broken man that wanted to get one last match out of his career, and it reeks.
Did you see the picture of him after the match? He's just sitting there. He just looked so tired and broken. And oh my gosh, it was almost heartbreaking to see that picture. And then, like you said, three weeks and a day after the match, he passes away.
I'll tell you, it gives the wrestler vibes.
Yeah,
it does. Yep. WWE is reportedly going to do another Evolution pay-per-view, which I know Sleazy's very excited for. And the rumor is it's going to be the same day as All In.
How dare you overbook on fucking All In?
Yeah.
So
Fuck off.
if
You
that's
fucking
the
marks.
rumor,
Who cares?
well, I mean, and I know how much you say we don't need another Evolution pay-per-view because I don't think we do. I don't think we do either.
No.
See, I said it. I said that I thought we should have one. They should have another one.
Well, they listened to you and not me, so
The woman's
There you
wrestling
go.
enthusiasts.
yeah.
They literally listen to our show just to piss Sleazy off.
Mhm.
Which is why no other Asians are getting booked well.
No.
Hey, Io Sky won on Monday night.
She wasn't even on the pay-per-view.
Well, neither was Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Flair, blah blah blah.
Rhea Ripley,
Ripley. So yeah.
Bailey.
I guess McIntyre is getting checked for a concussion from the table spot.
Ooh, really?
Mm-hmm.
It looked pretty safe.
It did.
Legit. It looked really safe. He must have just hit the edge of the table then. Shit.
Night of Champions is going to be in Saudi Arabia again, which makes sense. June 28th.
Well, they got belts for it, so they might as well use them.
Yeah.
Yep. So Braun Strowman gets released, but has already filmed a
TV show
that's going to be on USA Network in the fall.
Did you hear about his contract and all that shit around it?
No.
Okay, so and take this with a grain of salt because it got reported secondhand. Apparently, Braun Strowman basically has an open invite to do short-term books with WWE because obviously WWE needs to cut costs because they're not making enough money. But so they have to cut talent. Well, Braun makes a shit ton of money, so they cut him. But because of just how Braun is and who he is and how he deals with professional wrestling as a whole, Triple H basically promised him, hey, whenever we'll bring you in for 3-4 month stint, do a short-term stint, and then you go on your way. And there was a suggestion as well that more and more wrestlers, when they're at that kind of level, would be brought back in for short-term not necessarily one-off, but like one-off storylines to put talent over and whatnot. And I think it's actually a good idea because it gives guys that wouldn't necessarily have that exposure outside of WWE to get that exposure outside of WWE to potentially learn a new hold and get themselves over in ways that wouldn't normally be as effective in WWE. And I think another person that would be a huge secondary boost is, once again, we talked about Baron Corbin. He's another guy that I think would very much be valuable in that respect. There was another thing that came up in regards that Indy Hartwell had said on the podcast with Chris Van Vliet, is that more and more now WWE's letting go of people's names, like allowing them to repurchase their names and likenesses again, which is phenomenal for multiple different reasons. Because once again, if you want to make stars, and it goes back to the Braun Strowman thing, if you want them to be bigger stars outside of WWE, so you can bring them back and bring that clout with them, you need to give them their name back. Right. So it makes sense to do that. So I'm glad to see this. I'm always sad to see people lose their jobs, obviously. But I'm also happy to see that they're being a lot more lenient on not handicapping them as soon as they walk out the door.
Right.
So. All right. So I found a quote about the ticket prices. It's from Mark Shapiro. We cut these house shows to where now we're doing 200 events a year. We cut them 75%, that number of house shows that we do. We feel that's a good place to be, and we will continue to prone as we go through. WWE has tremendous upside on global partnerships, tremendous upside on ticket pricing. tremendous upside on site fees, dynamic pricing, yield management, all areas we're really focusing and pushing in on as is related to live events. As you saw from our first quarter, our margins significantly expanded as related to WWE live events. So basically, they're cutting live events but raising ticket prices to basically offset.
Yeah, to offset the
Not doing
right.
Not doing the and here in well, here's the thing. House shows in the 80s, 90s used to make money. 2000s, 2000 early, they were basically lost leaders.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're cutting them, like WCW when Bischoff took over, house shows were losing money. So what was their smart thinking? Do more house shows.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how business works.
No.
So I mean, does WWE need to do that? No. But for the wrestlers aren't on the road as often anymore. Still 200 days out of 365, still a significant amount. But it used to be 300.
Well, I dare say that it's less than that now. Even.
It probably is less than that.
It's probably more like 150 because if you're a Raw superstar, you're doing 52 weeks. That's 52 dates. They're not doing more than 2 house shows a week now.
Yeah, and they're doing more international tours though too.
Yeah,
so,
but yes, it's not making up for those, but those are a lot less, and a lot less people go to those too.
Right.
They don't bring the full Raw crew.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
A 6-day stretch.
No. And basically, Raw and SmackDown, when they do those international tours, are traveling together. So
right.
I'm.
There's something else I wanted to point out with the ticket price, and this actually affects not just WWE. We kind of alluded to this. We're kind of bookending this. This is kind of crazy that ended up this way. Do you guys know what happened yesterday in regards to ticket prices?
No.
The FCC rule for junk fees came into effect. And what that is that the FCC basically said you no longer are allowed to hide fees behind one step behind the price. So like, for instance, the big one is resort fees in Las Vegas, where yes, it's a $14 hotel room plus $50 for a resort fee, plus taxes on the resort fee, plus taxes on the room, and now it's like $90 out the door.
Right.
But they're advertising at $14. Well, ticket prices, and specifically Ticketmaster, also fall under that. So now, if you go literally to Ticketmaster.com right now, they have to show this, which is fucking hilarious, is that, move this out of the way, the ticket prices are now all in. All the prices. And I love how Ticketmaster puts it up there like, oh yeah, we're being gracious and showing you the actual price of the ticket.
Yeah.
Game Time's been doing that for years. Oh, SummerSlam. Yeah. Perfect.
So, but you can see here that the actual face value of the tickets are $368, but the service fees and all the stuff is actually tacked on there. They're actually on the ticket. So when you're looking at this price, it's now actually $222.
And look at where those.
Oh yeah,
look at where those $222 tickets are.
It's literally like 20 rows from the top of MetLife Stadium. It's absolutely ridiculous. But to give the perspective of this is, we were talking before about how much more, how much. And I'm going to stop this before Streamlabs starts freaking out because it's too much for it. But we were talking before that we were paying $400 for a ticket. Well, part of the reason why people were paying $400 per ticket is that they were seeing them at $250 and going, okay, I can afford $250, and then the other fees got piled on. Before you know it, was $400 per ticket.
Mhm.
When people are looking at those tickets now and seeing the out the door price of $400, I guarantee you it's going to have a chilling effect on the market.
Yes.
And I think you're going to see more and more people starting to finally go, you know what? Maybe this isn't worth it anymore. And this isn't just WWE. This is Shakira at MetLife Stadium. This is Taylor. Well, it'll never be Taylor Swift because Taylor Swift is Taylor Swift. But Blackpink, who's coming to MetLife, or I'm trying, like Bruce Springsteen or any of these bands that are touring now are going to start seeing a little bit of a chilling effect. And I think you're also going to see a lot more or a lot less scalping because of it as well, because it's a lot harder to justify the price difference between the two. So
Gotcha.
we'll see what happens, but I just wanted to bring that up before we moved on.
I'm not really seeing anything else unless there's somebody that has any news on anything.
I'm good.
I'm good.
So, Mr. Heavy G, put yourself over.
You can catch me and the Hall of Famer Fatman on the Best Darn Sports Show period 2. We just did a Sunday show. I think we're doing a pop-up tomorrow night around 7:30. We're basically are going to live cover the first part of the NFL schedule that's being released tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Talk about some matchups that we're already looking forward to. I mean, there's already one that's been leaked out, and that was the first game of the season, Dallas traveling to Philly, and much, much more. So catch us tomorrow night, 7:30, Best Darn Sports Show, period.
I will throw out a stupid trivia question. Let's see if I can remember. What are the 4 NFL teams with stars in their logos?
The Steelers.
The Steelers isn't star. It's a diamond.
Diamond. Okay, then Dallas.
Yep.
Houston.
Yep.
No, Houston's one.
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Colts. No, those are circles for the horseshoe.
Hold on here.
I find these stupid trivia questions.
New England.
Yes.
Yes.
Patriots
the
is the fourth one.
Yep.
So yeah, stupid weird trivia from the trivia from the non-sports guy. That'll be the new segment on the Best Darn Sports Show period 2.
Yep.
I'm at TW at Sleazy.
Bring on just for that.
Fuck you. We were at SleazyFatman on X, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok. Please go over there, follow us there, especially Blue Sky, because we're starting to get a little bit of a following there. Please go on over there if you have a Blue Sky account. Like us, follow us there. Find our videos at twitch.tv/SleazyFatman, youtube.com/SleazyFatman, primo content on that onlyfans.com/wrestling show. Like and subscribe on your favorite platform and click that notification icon on YouTube because you never know when we will go live on After Dark. Explore more content at thewrestlingshow.com, including articles, merch, so much more. We just did a refresh of the Wrestling Show site, so it's a little bit easier to deal with. You can actually go straight to our site at wrestlingshow.com and watch us on Twitch. It's be right in front of you. We also today we officially launched our brand new shop. We refreshed the shop. We went with a different supplier. We're now using Printful. So you can go there at wrestlingshow.com, click on merch, and check out the cool stuff. It's really cool. And frankly speaking, the prices are way cheaper than they were with Teespring. We're able to get a better deal on our merchandise. So we're passing that obviously along to you guys. So with a fuck you to Dietz because he wasn't on the show, even though his notes were. A fuck you to Ryan, who wasn't on the show at all and didn't give me notes. Fuck him. A huge thank you to Heavy G, and as always for Sleazy.
For the Fat Man.
This is the Wrestling Show. Thank you guys so much for listening. Peace.
Fuck Dave Meltzer. Thank you. Fuck Tony Khan and his alleged coke habit. A hot dog's on a sandwich. A sub is not a sandwich. A burger is a sandwich. A hot dog's on a sandwich. You fat fuck. Burritos
On a plate too.
is a sandwich. I didn't say sandwich. I said sandwich.
A sandwich.
Sandwich. It's not, but okay. Burritos and tacos are not sandwiches. I confirmed that at a legitimate Mexican restaurant this weekend. So, and next week, there is no show we need to cover. So, fuck around and find out.
I'm a truth that you seem to run from. I'm an army of one. I'm a clip in your gun.